The House of Representatives Committee investigating the near collapse of the capital market resumed proceedings today with a number of appearances and presentations made. The CBN Deputy Governor, Financial System Stability, Mr. Kingsley Moghalu, and the Director General of the Nigeria Deposit Corporation, Mr. Umaru Ibrahim, were extensively drilled on the roles the institutions played. The session, however, got heated when the members called on the Managing Director of the Asset Management Company of Nigeria, Mr. Chike Obi, to make his presentation.
To this investigation.
This week's session kicks off on a dramatic note as the CBN Deputy Governor, Financial System Stability, Kingsley Moghalu, expecting to answer questions based on his presentation. Mr. Moghalu is taken aback by the line of questioning that follows and quickly brings this to the attention of the committee.
In Bank PHB, the non-performing loans in Bank PHB were 40.86% of the total loans of Bank PHB, totally non-performing. Oceanic Bank, 44.35% non-performing. AfriBank, 47.0% non-performing. This is, by any definition, a massive systemic crisis that called for systemic intervention, called for the lender of last resort function. And if that lender of last resort function had not been exercised, I put it to you very clearly, without any shadow of doubt, the financial system in this country would have collapsed.
Does the CBN do business on behalf of the federal government?
The CBN does banking business for the federal government and on behalf of the federal government.
And in the course of doing this type of business, you do not generate revenue at all?
My understanding is that the purpose of this exercise is to discuss the capital markets. It seems to me, with all due respect, that a number of the questions are going into other areas that were not in the invitation we received. So I'd like to just seek clarification and to seek reaffirmation that we're here to discuss the capital markets.
The next 3 hours saw the Deputy Governor being drilled by members on various issues, with particular focus on the activities of the CBN and AMCON on the nationalization of 3 commercial banks. With the atmosphere now tense from the question and answer session, members dismiss the CBN Deputy Governor and take on the Managing Director of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation.
I want you to advert your mind to AMCON and its ownership, and say whether or not it has been nationalized. Section 2 of AMCON Act 2010 provides, subsection 1, the authorized capital of the corporation shall be 10 billion naira, which shall be fully subscribed to by the federal government and held in trust by Central Bank of Nigeria and Ministry of Finance Incorporated in equal proportion of 50% each. No other Nigerian owns or participates in AMCON or in the so-called banks. Have we not nationalized those banks?
I have no problem in recognizing the fact that yes, you can call these banks as nationalized banks. The problem I have, sir, is that you have to agree or appreciate the context in which this was done.
With more focus now on the nationalization of the 3 commercial banks, members couldn't wait to usher in the Managing Director of AMCON.
I assumed that the committee in its wisdom was inviting me here to speak as an expert on capital market matters. And I have listened to the hearings all day today, and I must say I find myself surprised at the focus of the hearing.
The Managing Director of AMCON. Just seconds into his presentation, Mr. Chike Obi sends tempers flaring.
This is not a knee-jerk thing. You can't just stroll in and then feel that you can just talk to us and walk away like that. And on behalf of Chairman, I believe that we would demand a presentation from you in formal form. capital market.
As nerves calm down, he's given the chance to comment on the role of AMCON, while members dig deeper on the issue of the nationalized banks.
In Nigeria, the 8 banks that we had represented close to 30% of banking assets. It was such a big problem. It was not susceptible to all the fixes we've heard discussed here. NDIC doesn't have the capital to assume these banks and manage them. The amount of money we put in Bank PHB, which became Keystone Bank, was about 300 billion naira. NDIC could not capitalize Bank PHB, and the only alternative was to liquidate Bank PHB. If I just pick Bank PHB, if that bank had been liquidated, it had about 500 billion in deposits. Of those deposits, about 300 billion were public sector deposits. That means that public institutions in Nigeria would have lost 300 billion naira.
With several hours now spent on the session, more people, including the Access Bank managing director and a representative of a shareholder group, giving their thoughts on the factors that led to the capital market crisis. Although the newly constituted committee promised a drama-free hearing, Wednesday's proceedings were far from it, and analysts say it may be a sign of more to come. However, as proceedings continue, they hope the committee will not lose focus of its mandate, which is to identify the factors that led to the near collapse of the capital market and ultimately increase investors' confidence in the market. Esther Ubudaga, Channels Television News.